Hi, I'm Robert. This is today's short story. Today, I'm going to talk about something important. How you can speak English better than ever before. If you've ever felt stuck, like no matter how much you study, speaking still feels hard, you're not alone. So many learners feel the same way, but here's the good news. You can improve, and it doesn't have to take years. In fact, with the right techniques, you can start speaking better right away. Chapter 1. The Start of the Journey. Have you ever wondered what separates fluent speakers from beginners? It's not that fluent speakers know all the words or never make mistakes. In fact, they make mistakes all the time. The real difference is confidence. Fluent speakers are confident in their ability to communicate, even when they don't know every word or grammar rule. They don't freeze when they forget a word. They keep going, and that's what makes them sound fluent. Imagine this. You're in a conversation and the words just flow. You're not thinking about grammar. You're not hesitating. You're just speaking. That's the goal. But how do you get there? Let me share something that might surprise you. Small changes in how you practice can make a huge difference. You don't have to completely change your study routine. You don't need to learn thousands of new words. What you need are a few simple techniques that will help you speak with confidence. So what's the first step? It's building the foundation of fluency, and that starts with confidence. If you don't feel confident, it's hard to speak well. But confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, and I'm going to show you how. Here's the truth. Anyone can speak better than they did before, no matter their current level. If you've struggled with English, or if you've been afraid to speak, this podcast is for you. We'll go step by step, breaking down the process into easy techniques that you can start using today. And by the end, you'll be speaking English more confidently than ever before. But before we dive into the techniques, let's talk about why confidence matters so much. When you're confident, you're not afraid to make mistakes. You speak freely, and even when you mess up, you learn from it. Every time you practice speaking, you're building not just your language skills, but also your confidence. Here's a quote that I love from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This is especially true when it comes to speaking English. The more you speak, the more confident you become, and the more your fluency improves. Now, I know what you're thinking. But what if I don't feel confident yet? Don't worry, that's totally normal. Confidence comes from doing. The more you speak, the better you'll get, and the more confident you'll feel. Let me give you a small challenge to get started. Set a goal to speak English every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You can practice with a friend, a family member, or even by yourself. The key is to start speaking, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Over the next chapters, we're going to break down exactly how you can build confidence and improve your speaking. We'll cover listening techniques, shadowing, repetition, and even some fun ways to practice. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. But there's a technique that will really help you take the first big step toward fluency. It's something that most learners overlook, but it's the secret to improving faster than you think. Chapter 2. The Power of Active Listening. Now that we've talked about building confidence, let's dive into the first key technique that will truly help you speak better: active listening. You might think that speaking fluently is all about talking, but here's the truth. You can't speak well unless you listen well. Listening is the foundation of fluency. Think about this. When you listen, you're not just hearing words. You're learning how sentences flow, how native speakers connect ideas, and how certain words are pronounced. When you master listening, you'll find that speaking becomes easier and more natural. It's like filling your brain with the right tools before you start building. But not just any listening will do. You need to practice active listening. This means really paying attention to what you hear. You don't just let the words pass by. You focus on them, break them down, and absorb how they're used. Here's an example. When you're listening to a podcast, a story, or even a conversation, pay attention to how the speaker is structuring their sentences. Are they using short phrases or long sentences? How do they pronounce certain words? How do they express their ideas? Active listening means noticing these details and learning from them. One of the best ways to practice active listening is through shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a speaker and immediately repeat what they say. It's like being their shadow, following their words as closely as you can. This is a powerful way to improve both your listening and speaking at the same time.